Hey, pilot, welcome to Ready for Pushback. I'm Nik Fialka, and today we are talking fitness. It is so easy to get out of the routine of working out on this sedentary lifestyle that we have in aviation. And my friend Lashea Bacon is here. She started an organization called the Mile High Health Club, which is all about helping pilots get moving. And no matter where you are in your aviation journey, this is a great episode just to understand, even free tips on how to do things, all the great things. So sit back, relax, let's get ready for Pushback.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nik Fialka.
All right, Lashea Bacon, welcome to the show.
It is awesome to be here. Glad I ran into you in the hallway.
I know. Well, listen, you have the most delicious name of anybody I have ever had on the show.
It's actually just a marketing scheme.
Just to make people hungry.
Yeah.
That's genius. That is so smart. So, Lashea, you run Mile High Health Club, and I literally walked up to you in a hallway in a hotel, and you were talking to my friend Tron Williams, and we got into a conversation, and all of a sudden at 7 o'clock in the morning, I had a podcast guest.
Yep, that's it.
Wild. Why don't you tell me a little bit about Mile High Health Club? Yeah,
so I came up with the idea last year. I actually just launched in January of this year, 2025. I have been a pilot for about 9 years now and a personal trainer, like certified personal trainer, for about 7 of those years. And then I became a nutrition specialist about a year after a personal trainer. And I was prior military Apache pilot. And when I got out, I started transitioning into fixed wing civilian aviation. So I was flying with my CFI one day, and he would always jokingly but not jokingly talk about his health or his weight and stuff like that. And I knew that even after I got out of the Army, I wanted to continue in health, mainly like the fitness realm. And it just kind of hit me one day when we were flying. I was like, this is what I got to do. I need to build a platform for pilot health. And so that's exactly what I started doing. Again, I started in July last year, built everything, put my programs together, fitness and nutrition programs, and I launched everything in January, and I just started hitting the ground running.
Okay. So how does it work?
So you can, on my website, milehighhealthclub.life, I have 4 fitness programs and 4 nutrition programs. Okay. And the way that all my fitness programs are designed, it's all workouts I've done throughout my aviation career so far. And what I decided to do was build those into very digestible programs for whatever type of aviation career that you have. And my first program is called Functional Movement. It's exactly what it sounds like. None of my programs are like, guess what you're working out today. It's very straightforward. So functional movement is going to be going through movements to improve your overall joint range of motion and that kind of stuff. So it's body weight only. You don't need any weights for it. That's a 6-week program. The next program is a resistance band program, also 6 weeks. And then the next one is dumbbells. And then I have kettlebells. Every single program is structured basically the same way. It's all going to be circuits. So each circuit is 7 to 10 minutes long, depending on what day you're doing. And from that, if you have time, or maybe that's where you're starting out, just the ability, do 1 to 2 circuits. Then maybe you go up to 3 or 4 circuits, just depending on what your day looks like for your exercise program. And every single program has 4 days of exercise per week. And it's always 2 full body days and an upper and a lower body day. So again, depending on what your week looks like, if you're like, man, I've only got 2 days this week to work out. In my program, I state, hey, I recommend that you do the 2 full body days. That way you're not missing out on any certain muscle or muscle group. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see in my little pilot life, my life revolves around home 4-ish, 5-ish days a week, and then on the road, 3 or 4 days, right? And just depends. And I know my math doesn't add up. I'm so sorry. But
That's a long
it
week.
changes. And so, but I'm in a different hotel every single night. And the quality, I will say when I was at the regional, the quality
Yeah.
of whatever gym they had was absolutely like it, probably feast or famine. And so that seems to be, that was really tricky to get through, figuring out how to do a workout. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
I have a few different angles of thought processes with this because I'm the kind of person when I go somewhere, I like to be able to know that I have options. But when I actually think about it, you don't need all of those options that you're wanting for yourself, right? And so you can do a lot with a little. And that's why I built all the variations of programs that I did. And that morning that you saw me, I'm running my dumbbell program, and I'm on the last week of it. So I'm on week 8 of my dumbbell program. And the reason that I chose it is because for these last 2 months, I had 3 different aviation conferences I was going to. And I knew that pretty much my only option was probably going to be dumbbells. Like each hotel I was staying at, I knew there would be a set of dumbbells. And so that's why I chose that program as opposed to like the kettlebell program, because a lot of hotel gyms don't have kettlebells. But I also want to continue my strength training. So that's why I didn't go with like my functional movement program, for example. However, it is a good one to run in correlation with the other programs because you're sending your body through ranges of motion that you need, especially when you're sitting for long periods of time, whether like you're on the road, you said, or you're just on a super long flight, being in that basically 90-degree position for so long is really hard on our bodies. But to kind of rewind again, whenever you're traveling, I think it's easy for us to kind of get in the mindset of, well, because I'm traveling, I'm not going to have time, or because I'm traveling, it's not going to be in a good, conducive space for fitness. And having that mindset right off the bat kind of puts you in a position where you set yourself up for not going and getting your workout in. And so, for example, whenever we ran into each other in the hallway, that was actually the first day I had gotten to go into that gym. And I talked to a few of the pilots at the conference, at the Pilot Network conference, and I was like, hey, how's like the gym? Because I showed up, I set up my booth, came the next day, and then was on the floor the entire day. And they were like, oh, it's not, it's super small, there's nothing in there. And I was kind of like, really? Because this is a pretty nice hotel. I mean, it's got to have something going on. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot whenever I went up there. But I went up there, full dumbbell set, very clean, multiple treadmills. They had a cable machine. I was like, what do you mean there's nothing here? This is everything that you need. There's nothing here. So again, I want to go back to that mindset thing of, I think that maybe a lot of pilots get into their head that when they are traveling, that there's not going to be options for them. And there totally is.
Yeah, you're right. And also I struggle. I go back and forth from fat pilots of Instagram to like fit, like tall dork. And so it's tricky. It's tricky to get into the mindset that I need to have a regiment when I'm on the road, because like yesterday, I was in the plane. I got a run in, which is great. But I was in the plane. I had a 10.5 hour duty day yesterday. That was a long day.
That's a long day. Been there.
And part of it's the fuel. Part of it's like eating well on the road, which is really hard, but doable. And the other part is consistency with working out. And honestly, I have been in hotels that have almost nothing in them. And so I've worked out in my room and used my like pilot bag as basically a kettlebell and like swung it and just did the
Yeah.
thing and tried to do something. And I feel like something's better than nothing.
I would agree with the something's better than nothing statement. Absolutely. I do have 4 nutrition programs as well. And the way that those are built is that they all have 15 recipes in them. And I've highlighted the ones that are going to be best for taking with you on flights for like meal prepping, basically. But I also have a flight snack and meal guide
Oh,
too. Yeah, and so they're meals that like I've put together, or like my friends have given me ideas from what they've used when on their flights, and I have them all broken down into the macronutrients also. So like these are really good snacks for macro, protein, carbs, and then the last couple pages is like here's some meals that you can deal with. Some of those are more of the things that are super easy to take with you in the cockpit. But
where do Biscoffs fit in?
oof, I've started turning down the Biscoffs on my like commercial flights I've gone on because I'm like
I know.
I
They're
was
so
like
bad.
just something else, just like anything else.
They're all chemicals and butter.
But like a brown sugar block,
I know.
basically. Don't get me wrong, they taste great. I'm a
I
sucker
understand.
for like a baked goods, okay? But something is better than nothing. And I mean, I have completely burnt myself out and had muscle soreness for like 2 or 3 days post workout just doing body weight stuff. And so if you can do a lot of time under tension or like very like vigorous high rep stuff, like you will feel some burn in your muscle. And so even just like a hotel room workout, again, like my functional movement program stemmed from me getting stuck in various types of hotels or even like field situations. And there have been days where I'm like, I'm just gonna, whatever, I'm just gonna do this thing, throw some stuff together, and then I'll be sore for like a day or two afterwards. I'm like, let me write that down. I think I remember all the exercises I just did because that was actually a really good workout. And so that's how a lot of these exercises kind of found their way into my programs is because I'm like, I've gone through them, I've done them, and I'm like, that was a great workout and very effective.
Okay, how about for a flight school student that's going through the process of learning how to fly? Like, why is it important that they work out?
So someone who is transitioning from whatever they're doing previously, like maybe they were another type of college student, maybe they just got out of high school, or maybe they came from a different type of career and now they're starting to get integrated into aviation. Um, Not only are you in a sedentary position because there's other careers where you're sedentary, right? But you're in a vehicle. So you're getting a lot of the vibrations and stuff like that,
Hmm.
the residual shaking from the airframe. And so that can be really hard on our spinal column, for example. And I think that's something important to recognize whenever you're coming into, or, even people who have been in this career field for a long period of time, and that once you start getting those vibrations through your spinal column, if you don't have a strong core, so that's going to be the whole entire like trunk of your body, your abs, your back. If that's not strong, you're going to be trying to support yourself and compensating a lot with very points of your back. And so that's tends to be how a lot of people start getting spinal issues, compressed discs, bulging discs, that kind of thing. And so when you're not strengthening that core, the hips, that can be pretty detrimental to your overall physical health, and you're going to start seeing some pretty significant signs of what a lot of people think I'm aging, right? Not necessarily. It's a matter of that maybe you haven't been taking care of yourself in the proper way within the career field that you've decided to go into. And so as a student pilot, you sitting around studying a lot, sitting in the aircraft, sitting at the airfield, waiting for your flight, that kind of thing. So you're not doing a lot of moving around. What that also starts correlating into nutrition wise is that you're not moving maybe as much as you were previously, or maybe previously you didn't move at all either. But what I've noticed is that pilots either tend to snack a lot or not eat a lot at all. So there's not much of a middle ground going on there. And consistency is one of the biggest things fitness and nutrition wise. But for a student pilot, I think it's getting ahead of the game, really, because it's never too late to start something. But if you can get ahead of it, that is going to pay dividends for years and years to come. And you're just going to be a better pilot, a safer pilot throughout your career if you just get ahead of it whenever you're first starting.
I'll also say that if you're a student pilot, like that workout is the thing that's going to make you study better, think clearer, be more articulate. The effects of working out are so positive for your brain, not just the muscles and your musculoskeletal stuff. I'm not going to pretend to know what I'm talking about. But I am I do want to getting up, getting a workout daily as a student will make you such a better pilot.
Yeah. Earlier this year, actually, I did 3 webinars with the FAA safety team on pilot health. And I was with Gene Benson. He's one of the FAA safety team's really big contributors to their wings program. And also Tammy Barlett. She was on the webinar as well with us, and she talks a lot about cognition and decision making within aviation. And so my contribution was pilot health, and I did the 20-minute window that I had. I got as much information in there as I could, the fitness and nutrition side, the benefits of that, but also honing in on the energy, the natural energy benefits your body gets from a workout, even like a short workout, and the quality and types of foods that you can eat for physical and mental energy too. And so we got a lot of good feedback from those webinars, and they're actually they're recorded, so you can go on to the Wings website and watch those. I'm building a program, like an actual course next, so an aviator and flight crew health course, and I'm going to do a deep dive on each of the different topics and categories within fitness and nutrition, cognition, also some mental health stuff in there too. So pilots will be able to learn very specifically about, hey, how is my body taking the workouts that I'm doing and becoming more energetic? How is my body storing things in order to create more physical and mental energy for me from fitness and nutrition?
Yeah, I think the education part makes you want to continue, right?
Yeah, the aviation community we're not all super different from each other. Of course, we all have our own personalities and stuff like that. But I think that the aviators as a whole, once we understand things at a deeper level, and we know that, like, because we all know, like, working out's good for us, eating good is good for us. But once we understand, and this is how I kind of just got completely absorbed by fitness and nutrition, is like I understood and I was very curious about what proteins, what my body was doing with proteins, how my body's using carbohydrates, what kind, like the variations of carbohydrates and what's in those specific ones that our body gets the most benefit from. Fats, the different types of fats that there are and the ones that our bodies need the most, because we do need fats. And I think that overall, just speaking with different pilots, and especially when I've gone to these conferences, once I start having a one-to-one conversation with some that have very specific questions, like personally about themselves, they're like, wow, I didn't know that this was actually good for me, or like I could actually have this food item. Because I'm not a big proponent of cutting out like complete food groups and stuff like that from people's diets. And so I think that with more understanding and just having that education piece for a lot of pilots, what my goal is to make it easier to make educated choices, no matter what aviation career field you're in. And I think that overall, that will help the community as a whole.
Also, when you start doing videos, I think you should wear a pilot uniform in the workout.
I don't even have those anymore. No, I know people. I'll get one. I'll get one.
You get the guys from flight to send you a shirt, and you can wear a
Yeah.
tie. And
I'll just wear a different type of flight uniform for each video.
yeah, it's like super baggy, ugly black pants.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What about the effects of alcohol in working out?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because I was just typing up this section of the course the other day, and also talking with pilots. Of course, whenever we go, people always feel like when they talk, they learn about what I'm doing. They of course like to talk about, oh yeah, like I've thought about working out again, or
Boy,
I've been trying to eat healthier, stuff like that. You know, things that I've been thinking about this, or I
we're
used to do
embarrassed
this.
that we're fat.
Right. And I'm like, have you?
Hey, come on, I'm right here.
I mean, so I don't try to sugarcoat things really. I think that you're going to get the most benefit out of someone just being pretty generally straightforward with you and honest, you know, and just giving you the information that you need in order to succeed. So, in talking with a lot of the pilots recently, they're like, oh yeah, well, in order to reduce the calories of the drinks that I'm drinking, then I'll just do like a vodka soda water, or like tequila soda, instead of getting like the juices and the mixers and all other stuff, right? And they're like, oh, so it's like healthier. I'm like, is
Well,
it?
tell us why. Tell me
I
why.
can tell you why. Yeah. So alcohol in itself is, I mean, we know it's like it's a poison, right? It's inherently not good for us. No type of alcohol is, like not even your little 8 ounces of red wine, whatever you want to tell yourself. Alcohol still, your body still breaks it down into sugars, like sugar alcohols and stuff like that, right? So your body absorbs it very quickly into the bloodstream, and what that's doing is it's getting sent to your brain. So it's also creating high hypoxia, right? So it's reducing your body's ability to absorb oxygen into the brain. Not good, right? We need to use our brains when we're flying, when we're not flying. So that's going to inhibit our cognitive performance just on its own, just from that perspective. But and I'm going to have this in the course too. I'll have it as like a visual aid and everything for people to download. But alcohol still has calories. Like it's not just like, oh, this is just an alcohol, it's a liquid. No. Um, just a shot of liquor, depending on what type of liquor that you're having, can have anywhere between like 70 to like 130 calories per ounce. And typically people aren't just having like one drink, right? So you're still consuming and just drinking your calories in with no benefit that your body can actually use that for something good. So it's still absorbing it, it's still using it, but it's using it to store as fats, prevent you from absorbing oxygen. It's inhibiting your muscle repair. It's inhibiting your organ repairing, digestion, absorption, all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not saying like drinking's the worst thing ever. It's bad, you know, like every once in a while, because your body can process it, right? But just be mindful of those things, that it's not physically benefiting you in any way. I understand people utilizing it to like unwind and stuff like that every once in a while, but just know that because you're trying to be healthier, understand what you're putting in your body still, no matter what you tell yourself. Like, I'm not having like a tequila sunrise, you know, something like that. So I'm not ingesting those extra 100, 200 calories that the one drink would be. Well, you're still ingesting calories. And if those are calories that you can afford throughout your day or your week, okay. But if it's not, because maybe you don't even know how many calories you are ingesting through the day, then maybe it's not something you can afford.
Yeah, good point. Really good breakdown. Thank you. So if I'm a pilot and I know I need to be in it, I need the help, I need the guidance, I need a plan, I need somebody, like just like everything we do, right? We have checklists, we get pointed in the right direction, ready, go, execute. where do we find you? Where do we find Mile High Health Club?
Yeah, so you can reach me from my email or my Instagram. So my email is mhhc, so Mile High Health Club, mhhc at milehighhealthclub.life. Shoot me an email. I'm very responsive just because I'm so excited whenever I do get an email from someone. But you can ask me your questions. You can also schedule an actual one-on-one session with me through my website too. And I tell everyone, like, that hour, it's an hour-long session. The hour is yours. So if you want to just talk about the fitness, the nutrition, whether you're running one of the programs or not, that's totally fine. But we can still talk about maybe some additional steps, or maybe you still just have some hesitations or you're feeling stuck no matter where you're at in your health journey. The hour is yours. That's what I tell everyone. And there's a few questions that I prompt whenever you are booking your session, like, hey, are you running one of my programs? Which program is it? Do you have any specific questions related to that? Or do you want to go over something completely different? And then also Instagram, you could shoot me a DM, Mile High Health Club on there. I'm on YouTube. I've got TikTok. So yeah, I'm pretty reachable.
For now.
Those ways. For now, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Man, that's great. It was so interesting having that conversation in the hallway at the hotel, and just I'm thankful for that serendipitous meeting, because I think that this is a huge need in aviation, and I think you are fulfilling a really big gap where there's been just a lot of shrug your shoulders and carry on, especially the older you get. And so getting those habits in is fruitful and will help you your whole life, especially if you land like I do. And it's just like hard hits every single time.
Oh no.
But Lache, thank you for the conversation. Thank you for being part of the pilot community. Mile High Health Club, if y'all didn't hear it, milehighhealthclub.life.
.life.
LIFE.
Yep. It's great to be here. I love it. And I hope that I can keep growing within the aviation community, and people don't feel hesitant to reach out, and just so they can just continue and build up on their overall health and spread the word.
That's it. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for being part of our community. You're awesome. All right, pilots, that's a wrap on this episode. And I know what you're thinking. You need to make yourself a little bit better. So how do you make yourself a little bit better? You tighten up your resume. So here's what I want you to do. Go over to my website, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and you can download my free resume template. It is tight, organized, and it's the perfect pilot resume. It's just something I like to do for the pilot group, and it is free to you. So go over there, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and download your free resume template. While you're over there, look at all the services that we offer. Lots of great interview prep, lots of great application review. Everything you need to be a professional pilot is right there. spitfireelite.com/podcast. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next episode.